Welcome to Springboro 4506, Part 2, the TV News Magazine show of Springboro, Ohio. On Part 2 of our show, we'll talk to Mike Loesche about the new business CBD on Main. We return to the schools to talk to Rylee Gust about taking fourth in the states in girls wrestling, and Carrie and I will give you a 2020 preview of concerts in the park. On Meet Your Neighbor, we'll talk to longtime resident and dear friend, Judge Loxley. We're still at City Hall, and it's all happening right now on Springboro 45066. Carrie and I are coming at you, Part 2, same place, different time.
Still far apart?
Yeah, still far apart. Coronavirus, we're adhering to all the standards. Anyway,
Distancing.
yeah, we have another good show.
We do.
Well, where are we going first?
We are heading to historic Springboro to CBD on Main, a new local business. We are inside Eve's Inc. today in historic Springboro, and I'm joined by Mike Loesche, who is the owner of CBD on Main. Mike, thank you for having us inside.
Thanks, Carrie. Appreciate you stopping by.
So tell us a little bit about your new venture.
Sure, absolutely. Well, first of all, the cannabis movement across the country is very exciting. More and more states are actually recognizing cannabis as a medical treatment.
Right. And just for our folks out there,
Sure.
all of this is 100% legal, correct?
Well, there's two different strains of the cannabis plant, or two different
Okay.
species, I should say. There's
Okay.
marijuana
Okay.
and there's hemp.
Okay.
Okay. So more and more states are actually recognizing marijuana as being good for medical purposes.
Right.
Also, states are actually recognizing it as far as being passing it for recreational uses.
Okay. But Ohio's not ready for that.
It is not. It is not. So that is good for a couple reasons. One, it gives the ability for people to try marijuana for medical purposes if
Okay.
they choose to do so. Recreational, whatever. As far as hemp goes, the Farm Bill was passed in 2018,
Right.
and that is what made it legal basically across all 50 states.
Okay.
Marijuana being great for medical and recreational use, hemp has its great purposes as well, medical as well. Also making plastics, ropes, clothing, paper, of course, everything that's been used for
Sure.
many, many years. The cannabis plant has been around for thousands of years for medical uses and different uses altogether. So, with that being said, when marijuana, there's the big misconception that people have. People think that CBD is going to get you high. It is not going to get you high.
Okay.
Does it make you relaxed? Does it give you like an overall sense of well-being? Does it maybe help people with anxiety, things like that? Absolutely. So there's a lot of benefits to it, but it doesn't get you high.
Okay.
Okay? So where marijuana is grown, it produces a high amount of THC
Okay.
with very little CBD.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when hemp is grown, it produces a high amount of CBD and a trace amount of THC.
And the THC in marijuana is what makes people high. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So it's an awesome product, and everybody has probably heard of CBD at this point.
Sure.
It's on talk radio, it's on TV, it's everywhere you basically look. Our goal here, well, I have three basically goals here. First, I want to provide our customers with a great service. This means I have to constantly educate myself on the best products, and of course educating the customer on what would work best for them,
Right.
for whatever issue they're dealing with. Second purpose is I want to have the best quality products that are on the market.
Of course.
Okay, so with that being said, we have several different products, and we have certificates of analysis on everything, which means everything goes through an analysis. It's third-party tested. I want to make sure that the consumer is getting what they pay for.
Sure.
Okay, and then the third thing I want to make sure of is variety. So there's a ton of CBD stores out there. However, you might have one store that might be selling just oil and that's it.
Okay.
Or you might have a store that's selling maybe multiple products, but it's all under one manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
So I have like 3 or 4 different manufacturers that I work with, and like I said, it's all top shelf products. I want to make sure that when the customer comes in, they have some variety. So we have everything from tinctures, it's an oil, it's a sublingual. Some people come in and they say, hey, these tinctures, they taste horrible, you know, because it is very earthy. Sure. We don't like it, so I have capsules, okay? And then of course we have people who smoke. We actually have flour. And then we have chewing gum, we have tea, we have vape cartridges.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we have muscle rubs. We have a lot of different products as far as that goes. So it's been really good, and the stories that we are getting from our clients that are coming in, we're getting a lot of repeat customers at this point, and the stories that are coming in are absolutely incredible. We got people that are coming in that have been on some pretty heavy-duty pain medication. I'm not talking about over-the-counter stuff. I'm talking about a prescribed pain medication that now are off of their pain medications due to some of these products.
That's fantastic.
It is. It's absolutely incredible. And it makes us feel good to be able to help people that way for sure. Now, we also have products for pets as well.
Okay.
And just a personal testimony of that, we have like a 12-year-old dachshund at home. He's been very restless at night, falling asleep. Just lots of tossing and turning, whimpering. I'm sure he's got some arthritis, and I'm sure he's just got some issues as far as that goes. The very first night we gave him CBD, he slept through the entire night, which means we slept through the entire night, which means that's
quality of life improved for everyone.
It's happy all the way around. It's good to go. I'm not saying CBD is for everyone.
Sure.
But my recommendation is, and what I tell people is that if you're the kind of person who needs an over-the-counter, a Tylenol, an ibuprofen, an Advil, something like that on a daily basis, this is probably going to be a very good alternative for you. Okay. You know, and honestly, the other nice thing about these laws being less restrictive, okay, is that gives the ability for more research to be done.
Of course.
You know, so we are just at the beginning of the research that is coming out, and I mean, there's been tens of thousands of articles and research done on the products itself. And it's really positive, to be honest with you.
Something that kind of caught Joe and I off guard before we started rolling is the flowers.
Right.
They have a very pungent and very recognizable smell.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, it's becoming more and more popular. We're having more and more people come in, and people are skeptical. They come in and they look at it and they're like, seriously, that's legal?
Yeah, because, I mean, that was our first joke, was that there's no way that's legal.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing, is everything that we sell, for it to be legally sold, it has to have 0.3% THC or less. Okay. So just about every product that we have is what they call a full spectrum product, which means they use the entire plant. But like I said, it has to meet that requirement in order for it to be legally sold. So yeah, the flour is something that, you know, and look, when we sell people flour, I tell people to use some discretion, you know, when they're using it. Yeah. This is not something that, even though it's legal that you could smoke it in your vehicle going down the road, that is not something that we recommend, because
someone around you will smell it.
It looks like marijuana, it smells like marijuana.
It definitely smells like marijuana.
So if you get pulled over, the police officer is going to assume that you have marijuana.
Of course, you know? And everyone around you is going to assume.
Absolutely, absolutely. So like I said, I do recommend some discretion with that product in itself, just the flour itself. Sure. You know, it's great for people with anxiety, maybe sleep disorders, pain management. It's a huge anti-inflammatory. Right. All of these things have been researched and been proven true, you know, through research.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, now there's one other thing that I kind of want to throw in there.
Okay.
We actually have been starting selling the Remy's elderberry syrup.
Oh, okay.
And so we're the only place in Springboro that carries it.
Very popular right now with all of the bugs going around.
Very, very popular. So we started selling that maybe about 2 months ago, and it's hard to keep on the shelves.
I bet.
People are coming in basically almost on a daily basis to buy this. And it's a lot of repeat customers as well. So obviously it's working for them. Wonderful. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Wonderful. Okay, well, if someone wanted more information about CBD on Main, whether for humans or for pets, how's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, they can follow us on Facebook.
Okay.
We have an Instagram page as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so we're putting out new stuff all the time. And like I said, to me, my job is to educate myself more so that I can educate the consumer more. And there's a lot of information coming out all the time. Well, thank you so much for being here and letting us into CBD on Main and educating us about all things CBD. Yeah. Well, thank you again. You're welcome. We will see you again soon. All right, sounds good.
Back to you. Thanks, Mike. We wish you the best in your new venture, and we can't wait to see what's next from CBD on Main.
Yeah, and our guys in school did good in the state finals, right?
Well, yeah, we are heading now to the schools to talk to Rylee Gust, a girl who placed 4th in state in wrestling.
Ooh.
And our boys wrestling team won district. So congratulations to
And Hannah Hale, she won.
Yeah.
Won the state.
I know.
Oh, a lot
Really
of good,
cool. We've
a lot
got
of good
all
talent in Springboro.
Got a lot of good stuff happening in Springboro athletics right now.
Let's go see that clip.
Yeah, let's go talk to Rylee. We are in the wrestling room at Springboro High School, joined by Rylee Gust. Rylee just placed 4th in state in girls wrestling. Rylee, welcome to 45066.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about being a girls wrestler.
So at first, I was always at first back in 4th grade, I wasn't nervous about anything. I mean, like, I was in 4th grade.
Sure.
But like coming into junior high and stuff and like actually knowing what it meant to be a girl wrestler, a girl in a technically boys sport,
Right.
I always got really nervous and like stomach aches and stuff. I was just always really nervous.
How did you get into wrestling?
My brother and my dad both wrestled, and I had like kind of wrestled around with my brother in the living room and
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
So once we got to 4th grade, I finally convinced my mom to let me, with my dad's help, of course. And so I just started wrestling, and then
And you kind of fell in love with it.
yeah.
And now you're in high school,
Yeah, high school, fun.
and you placed 4th in the state,
Yeah.
which is a first for Springboro High School. So thank you for representing Springboro so beautifully at state. That was wonderful. So is it intimidating being in what is traditionally thought of as, a traditional boys sport?
Some days it's intimidating. Some days I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to practice. That's going to be so hard. But then the other days I'm like, yeah, I get to go to practice. I get to compete with all these guys. And I get to say, hey, you don't compete with guys. I do. Go away.
Sure, sure. How are you received by the men on the team, by the boys on the team?
Some of them get a little iffy, especially back in junior high. I was dealing with quite a bit of bullying to where I almost quit. But then I talked to a lot of my coaches, and they convinced me to stay, and that's where I am now.
Well, we're certainly glad that you stayed. And you're a very talented young woman, obviously, on the wrestling mat. My goodness. So what are your future plans with wrestling?
I want to go to college to wrestle. I want to go to Lindenwood University in Missouri. That's my dream college. It has been since I was like 6. My family lives out there, so I want to go out there and visit and live with them and wrestle in college.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you plan to continue wrestling with Springboro High School since you're just a freshman? My goodness.
Unless I somehow move, then I don't think I am.
No, we don't want you to move.
Yeah.
We want you to stay with Springboro and keep representing us so wonderfully. So what's your favorite thing about wrestling?
Just the fact that I get to like come here every day in this room and train so hard that I go home and I immediately pass out on my bed. It's like a natural melatonin.
Sure.
And then I come here and I practice every day, and then I know practicing will get me to where I'm going in life eventually with college and everything.
Sure.
And knowing that it'll probably chip off some money on my college so I won't have to raise like $5 bajillion.
Sure.
So yeah.
And you have a pretty great coach as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Coach.
Coach he's always, I've known him since youth program. He always came to youth program. We practice with the junior high. Some days he gets on my nerves. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, he gets on my nerves because he makes me run extra laps and do extra push-ups. And the week before state, he was really pushing me, and he always had a coach on me because we have multiple coaches.
Sure.
We have our head coach, and the head coach would always put one of the assistant coaches on me to make sure I was doing what I needed to do to get ready. So that was frustrating, but in the end, it came out with me getting 4th place at state.
I think they did that just to make sure that you were prepared because they saw in you, great things, and they wanted to make sure that came out at state. So what's next for Rylee?
I am going to another state tournament, OAC in Ohio way, and it's not through the high school. It's on my own. So I'm going to Ohio Way and OAC State. And then I'm going to nationals in Colorado.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And when is that?
March 21st and 22nd.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. And then nationals is the next weekend.
Wonderful, wonderful. So please stay in touch with us.
Yeah, I am.
And we'd love to hear how you do.
Yeah,
throughout
I'm sure
these
you'll hear
next
it all over Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
Well, we will stay in touch then, and we'll, be keeping an eye out for you, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
You're welcome.
And, continued success with your wrestling career. Back to you. Thanks, Rylee. We loved chatting with you, and we wish you the best in your wrestling career.
Go Burrow. Anyway, you know what is really exciting to me? Concerts in the park.
Well, you've got some of your favorites coming this summer,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm even excited about it, too.
It's going to be the best year we've ever had for concerts in the park.
I totally agree with you. I got a little sneak peek of the schedule, and I'm super excited.
Oh, yeah, we got July and 2 in June.
I know. I mean, you guys outdid yourselves this year.
Well, we tried.
You really did. You really did.
All right. Starting on June 26th, Elton John, right?
Elton John and Billy Joel, our tribute to them,
It'll be a
of course.
tribute.
That's going to be so much fun. That's something for everyone.
It is something. And then you go right into fireworks on July 4th. But to get you warmed up on July 3rd, we have Wayne Newton and Elvis Presley going to do a red, white, and blue concert. There'll be an intermission. Elvis will come out and do a tribute, but there's going to be a really neat red, white, and blue with Wayne Newton, Elton John, Neil Diamond songs. It's going to be really, really cool.
That sounds like Vegas comes to Springboro.
It is. Oh, Viva Las Vegas.
I mean, I think a handful of us may have gotten a little preview of that. And those
yeah.
guys are incredibly talented. Springboro is in for a treat.
They are. And, all right, after the July 3rd concert and July 4th fireworks, then we go
Tuesday, July 7th, we have Tony Hale and Blackwater. Friday, July 10th, the best of Bon Jovi.
Ooh, Bon Jovi. I love Bon Jovi.
That's going to be a great one. Tuesday, July 14th, local favorites, Velvet Crush. Friday, July 17th, a tribute to Huey Lewis and the News.
I love Huey Lewis and the News.
I'll be there for that one. That's going to be incredible. Tuesday, July 21st, Drive. Friday, July 24th, a tribute to the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, I love the boss.
Yeah. Tuesday, July 28th, Mad Women.
And the end of July, the home run grand slam.
The mayor's all-time favorite.
Journey, Resurrection of Journey. They're all good. And they're going to start with a bang. We're going to end with a bang. But this will be for your listening pleasure this year. The best group the Park Board has ever put together. You will love it.
It's going to be a wonderful summer at North Park. We're going to have our libations served by Springboro Pee Wee football again.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll have our concessions, our food trucks.
By Springboro Rotary, they volunteer that. It's just a wonderful community event. And every year it gets better. We have another set of portable restrooms we put in.
Yep.
So we really had the whole landscaping excavated.
Right.
It's going to be good. It's just going to be a great year. Thanks, Carrie, for letting our audience know about all the good concerts we got coming your way.
I can't wait for this summer.
I can't either.
I mean, there's always something to do in Springboro.
Oh,
and
it's that time. You are in for a treat. We have a real live judge. Here comes the judge. Judge Loxley is going to join us on our Meet Your Neighbor segment. Let's go talk to the judge. Meet Your Neighbor, Part 2. Judge Loxley in his robe. My gosh, it don't get any better than that. Anyway, Judge, welcome to the show. I'd shake your hand, but with the coronavirus, I guess we'll just have to pass on.
I understand.
We'll get caught up at a later time, I'm sure.
Thank you for having me.
Well, welcome to the show. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm originally from Darke County, Ohio, and then settled here in the Springboro area in 1995 after I got off active duty from the Army. My last duty assignment was Fort Knox, Kentucky. And rather than go back to Darke County with my wife and our 4 children, we looked at the Interstate 75 corridor from Florence, Kentucky, all the way up to Shelby County in Sydney, Ohio. And we liked Warren County in the Springboro area, and that's the reason why we settled here.
We're glad you're here. Well, you touched on that briefly, but it's the full burr colonel. Besides being a judge, full burr colonel. You spent 32? What was
36,
it?
actually.
36? Mm-hmm. 36 years. Thank you for your contribution then and now as a judge.
Well, It's a privilege, as you know, being a veteran yourself, to serve in the military, and I was very fortunate. I started when I was 18 years old, joined the Ohio Army National Guard for 6 years, had a break in service during school while I was in law school, then applied for the active Army JAG Corps, and I was fortunate enough to be accepted into that program. Served 8 years on active duty, almost made it a career, but like I say, I was at Fort Knox, and it was time to come back home to Ohio, and I spent the last 22 years in the reserve component.
Well, you know, that's pretty exciting to spend that many years in the military and that many years as a judge serving your country. That's pretty cool. So your family, you say you have 4 children. What are they doing now?
Well, our oldest is married and living with her husband out in California. She works as a CPA out there, and they have a little boy who's 4. He'll be 5 years old this June. They live in sunny Old Town Burbank, California, so it's a nice place to go visit every once in a while. And then our second oldest, George, and his wife Suzanne, they live in Denver, Colorado. He followed her out there. They have 2 little ones, a 3-year-old Sawyer and a 1-year-old Miles. And we get the chance to see them every once in a while too. It's funny because I just saw them last week. My wife and I flew out to Houston, Texas, because George, based on my wife's status as a British subject and a naturalized American citizen, applied using his mother's status to become a British subject, and he was sworn in last Tuesday. So we went out there for the swearing-in ceremony. I think we got in just under the wire.
You did?
Just under the wire, because we made a small trip out of it. I saw a couple of things out there that are now closed, and I think the swearing-in is closed too. Our third oldest followed his brother out to Colorado, lives separate and apart. He's still single and working hard, and then our youngest, Lauren, is in the Xavier nursing program, the accelerated nursing program, and she's due to graduate this spring.
Well, you and your wife can be very proud of what you have in terms of children, and very proud of what you have in terms of a life. You've had a great life. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, we've had a lot of fun together, I know that, but since you have seen things from a little different vision sometimes than others, what could we do better in Springboro? You've been in the community since '95. What can we do that we're not doing?
Well,
see anything that we can do better?
The city has done a marvelous job in managing growth. And just in the 25 years that we've been in town, because we moved here in the fall of 1995, just in those 25 years, we've seen the population explode tremendously. And I'm not a native from here. I can imagine what it's like for somebody who's lived here longer, like yourself.
Not me all my life.
But I know that the roads and the schools and everything associated, the businesses and everything associated with that growth have been managed extremely, extremely well. We used to live here in town. We lived on the McRae Farms subdivision.
Oh, okay.
We lived there for about 12 years, and then as the kids grew older and flew the coop, we moved outside of town. So we live in Clear Creek Township now, just outside of town.
It's all the Springboro community. Clear Creek Township, City of Springboro is all one. Springboro community. We've always said that and always will. I remember when it was a little village, when there were 600 people here, we could throw a rock and never had anything. That's how old I am. Yeah. Anyway, well, you're going to be our Grand Marshal this year. And I think that's just fantastic that you'll be riding in either a Jeep or a deuce and a half, or whatever you prefer, because we'll have the banner, all that kind of stuff waiting for you, and that'd be a big honor for you to be our Grand Marshal. And so I know you'll get me your bio, and then we'll get the chance to introduce you to all the folks that'll be there. It's a big deal in Springboro, as you all know. Have you got any advice for anybody who's coming into the community now, going forward? What to look for, what to be a part of, anything, any words of wisdom that you can share?
Well, you can always be available to the county court to be a potential juror, but other than that, I would say stay out of the Warren County Court.
That's a good advice. That's from Judge Loxley. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate you being on our program. It's good to know you all these years. You're quite a person. Thanks for all you do.
As the executive for the Warren County Veterans Service Commission, you have provided great support to the Warren County Court and the Warren County Veterans Court, which I supervise, and I really appreciate all of that.
Well, I appreciate that. We have teamwork. It's one of a kind. Anyway, Judge Loxley, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Here comes the judge. Well, we're closing up part 2, but Carrie has some announcements to make concerning folks who couldn't really tell you a whole lot right now. Carrie's going to give you the why and the library. We didn't really have a whole lot to say because we didn't know a whole lot, but Carrie's going to give you the best that we have right now. So, Carrie, let our audience know.
From our Kaufman YMCA. For the past 20 years, the Kaufman Family YMCA has been serving the community of Springboro. We are in unprecedented times. We are confronting a new way of life for this foreseeable future. The Kaufman Y has and always will be there for the communities we serve. The well-being of members, staff, volunteers, and our community is our priority. We are adjusting as advised by public officials and responding to a growing need. For the most up-to-date information on our programs, classes, and services during this trying time, please visit our website at www.daytonymca.org. We have a page on our website that is dedicated to keeping our community up to date on all of our response to coronavirus. As a community, we will get through this. Thank you to the Springboro community for all of your support of the Kaufman YMCA. And now from our library. The Franklin Springboro Public Library offers a 24/7 digital library and online databases. You can download ebooks, audiobooks, movies, comics, and magazines. Visit the website at www.fspl.org. Children under the age of 5 in Warren County are eligible to receive a free book every month through Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. This program is made possible by a cooperative effort of the 5 Warren County Public Libraries, the Ohio Governor's Imagination Library, in conjunction with the Warren County Foundation. The link for enrolling can be found on the library's website or by visiting the website at www.ohioimaginationlibrary.org/enroll.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you doing that. As we close our show, it's always good to be with you. Wish we could tell you more. It's changing every day. We want you to stay safe, take all the precautions, and hopefully everybody will be back to see us the next show. Until then, Carrie and I will wave bye to you. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Springboro.